What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, September 8th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was a late night, a lot of hard work on NFL. And when it came down to processing all of the information on a 3-hour plus show, I decided to sit with my NFL action for a little longer. So I've still not made any bets, and I've still not made any futures, and they will be forthcoming shortly. I just didn't. It's so important, and I just felt like I needed to sit with all this information. I have everything set. I know what the plan is. I just wanted to sit on everything a little longer. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We got Brian Watson in the house. Evan L. ready to get to work. Nathaniel Montoya, Viper NB, Colorado Bull. Nice to see you, my man. Sammy Culmer, Clint, start of the Die Hard MMA podcast. All of you guys who joined us last night, thank you so much for your support. It's a huge, huge season and so many moving parts, and it's really exciting to get the opportunity to cap with all you guys. Gerardo Hernandez, Gerald Jones says, thanks, Pete-tailed Pitt, Detroit under, and Cincy Cubs under. It was not a good night for me in MLB, and I think that was driving me to drink during the NFL show. I got off to a good start, and then things started going awry, and I've now hit my low water mark on the MLB season. And I can't let it get away from me. There's just too much at stake. And I need a winning day today. It was tough. Tough. There's Birdie in the house. Mark Schillingberg ready to go. Spencer ready to eat. Matty Ice with no fear at all of the market movement. Also, Pistol Pete Loshak being on the other side of the breakdown. Cashes the taint play today extremely easily. And then I had to watch my good friend John Gant, whom I trust and believe in, pitch of beauty and screw me with the Indians first 5 -1/2, which wasn't even part of my plan. It was after all of the breakdowns. Very frustrating. There's Leo Leon in the house. Henry Dice says, I need one lock. Marlins killed me yesterday. I would say that the most confident spot I see on the board is the Oakland Athletics. Is the most confident I play spot on the board. The one thing that doesn't correlate for the Oakland Athletics, though, is the fact that they're not hitting lefties. But it feels like if the White Sox weren't decimated with injuries, Keuchel would not be starting. They would try to get him right. And these are the spots we have to take advantage of over the year. But seeing the total go from 9 to 8.5 is a little disarming. It gives you a sense that the market thinks he's going to have a good start. So, and Jeff Shahadi says, Taint stands alone, fearless yesterday. Love it. There's Cobra Sports, Nut Flush, Allen, LJ from H-Town, Rem, Most, ready to get to work. Great group here. Mike M, Pimp Slap play today. Easy win yesterday. The Rays were an easy win. I tailed Pete on the under 5.5 in the Rays game, and I wish I hadn't. I hate betting totals when pitchers have just seen the opposition. Thank you for joining us, Gerald. Thank you. David Summers in the house. Rem Mos Slats 45 says Seattle Kraken issued a cease and desist order to Jim involving the Kraken after last night's NFL show. I am sweating out Kraken as we speak, and it feels good. Puzzler ready to go. Paco Healy, Slick Rick, CT Bays. We have a ton of work to do, and that was a credible call on the Angels yesterday. Wild, and a huge move. Nolan knows to shake those thoughts. Jimmy, stay positive. Look, I still have hope. Ixnizzle says, pay attention to Gambler's First Glance. Razor running hot. 4 straight for Razor. He'll be sharing Gambler's First Glance with us on the show today. Vincent ready to go. Rodney Barton, Johnny K, Arthur Mead Jr. in the house. Viper says, Pete was right. Fading Hap. He's a bum. And there was a 50-cent move to the St. Louis Cardinals. And I said that to Jose. I was like, God, you see this 50-cent move to the Cardinals? And I didn't pull the trigger on the Dodgers, which was a grave error. Birdie says, what about the Blue Jays plus 115, plus 250 winner pays to watch the show? Yes, you guys on the Jays yesterday was a thing of beauty, an absolutely thing of a beauty. Jeff Joseph in the house says, is Vegas still on the table for you? It is unclear. It is unclear right now what's going on with Vegas. COVID is throwing a bit of a wrench into everything. So, Jeff, what we need to do is meet at Woodbine. Why don't we start there? Let's meet at Woodbine and talk this out. Matty Ice says, Taint and Easy Catcher there. Ski Profit in the house. Kevin Riley, Arthur Meade Jr., Ich Schnizzle, Gerardo Hernandez, and Matty Ice, 50th win for Taint today. All right, let's get to work, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Coming off just a disparaging day, 4-8. Down 5.30 units. The first three looks I had on the board all cashed. Rays, Braves minus 1.5. Philly, Milwaukee over 8. My most confident spots. And everything else sort of fell apart from there. The Astros were up 2-0. They don't win the first 5 minus 0.5. The Tampa Bay, Boston first 5 under 5.5 was a loser. Orioles scored 4 runs in the first inning. So the Coors look was trash. Jays, Yankees first 5 under 4.5. Garrett Cole has a hammy issue. A lot of problems. A lot of problems yesterday. So I could mention my college football record and pretend that that's the only sport going on right now, but I won't do that. Shout out to Taint Play of the Day and Rusty Kuntz, who both cashed their plays of the day. Ron Crawford Spreadsheet Play of the Day, a 1-1 yesterday. And Say Hey Play of the Day is back in negative units. So maybe that's what I can do. Maybe I can just take out all of this anger on Jose when he comes on the show. Maybe that's what I should do. Pamper Pop Play of the Day cashed again for our Robert Cherry. All right. Creo says you're going back on the Diamondbacks first 5. I know you were on yesterday. It didn't cash, but I think it'll hit today. I got a parlay with the Astros money line. I looked very closely at it. Very, very, very closely. So closely. And I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I will with you. Not Flush Allen hit the Jays reverse run line for plus 300 at a boy. And the Taint Play of the Day is in. Yankees money line. The Taint Play of the Day is in. And this is not good. This is not good. I'm going heads up with the Taint Play of the Day. I'm already on the Jays. The market's moving towards Taint. This is not good. Oh, sweating buckets all of a sudden seeing Taint on the other side. Just the Kraken just oozing out. Oh, God. On the other side of Taint. Not what you want to be doing. Listen how confident he sounds about win number 50. Jesus, what am I doing? Taint Play of the Day is in, and it is the Yankees. Let me just pop this here. Pop this here right now. Taint Play of the Day. I'm just all of a sudden just sweating buckets, man. Makes me very nervous being on the other side of Taint. Okay, let's get to work right now. We hammer away. We start at 2:10 p.m. Eastern, Seattle Mariners at Houston Astros. Tomorrow, because it's the shorter card on Thursdays, we are going to discuss a little NFL. We're also going to have special guest DJ Big Boss to give us his favorite college football looks. Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas is where we start. These Mariners 35-35 on the road. Astros are 43-25 at home. I expect this roof to be closed. Tyler Anderson, 1-1, 3.38 ERA, 1.10 whip, 40 innings, 30 Ks, 4 walks, 5 home runs as a Seattle Mariner. He's looked very good. His last start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, no homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 6-5 extra inning win at Arizona. Going up against Jose Urquidy, 6-3, 3.42 ERA, 0.98 whip, 70 Ks, and 81 2/3. 14 walks and 12 home runs. His last start was his first start since the end of June. Due to right shoulder inflammation, he had 3 rehab appearances that all went very well. He comes in and he looks okay. It was at the Padres. He goes 4 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 1 walk. At home, he's been much better than he has been on the road. At home, he's 4-1 with a 2.92 ERA, 192 opponents batting average. On the road, 2-2 with a 3.83 ERA, 237 opponents batting average. Mariners versus righties the last 30 days, they're not hitting them. 217, 676 OPS. Astros versus lefties, they're hitting 260, 790 OPS. This Mariners bullpen over the last 30 days being one of the best in baseball at 2.94 ERA. And the Astros bullpen is struggling all of a sudden. Last 30 days now, a 4.66 ERA. Ugly. All right, so let's move over to the pertinent information. Attaboy, Harold Williams. What a great day there. Beautiful work. We'll start with the market here in the afternoon game. Opens up the Astros at minus 195, and they're now sitting at minus 180. So a 15-cent move towards the Seattle Mariners. This total was juiced to the under at minus 111 at Pinnacle. It's now minus 116, so a 5-cent move over there. Let's jump over to the daily baseball data and go over the pitcher versus batter information. And what we have here, Anderson against these Astros, 279 with a 947 OPS. They get to him. They're 17 for 61, but 10 of those hits are for extra bases. 4 of those are jacks. And Jose Urquidy, 250 with a 730 OPS. They're 9 for 36. 3 of those 9 hits for extra bases. Let's move over to the cash flow in this spot. We have 4,249 tickets in. That's the most of any game on the board right now. And we have 68% of the tickets and 79% of the cash on the Astros, and 53% of the tickets on the under, 47% of the cash on the under. And then we see that the Mariners market is moving briskly towards the Mariners. Let me just take a look at this money line very quickly here. They're saying that it's going to be plus 155 across the board. So they're saying that there's at least another 9-cent move at Pinnacle in the works. Interesting. Very interesting. And the lean towards the Astros with the way they've been hitting lefties does not make sense. And maybe it's Urquidy whom we can't trust. Rodney Barton says Bregman back in the lineup. Astros hitting well. Astros roll again. Matty Ice on the team total over for Houston. Soupy Panic says Astros first 5, maybe team total again. Mariners struggling at righties, and Astros, they hit Astros pretty well. There is just clear reverse line movement, the public moving in on the Houston Astros, and yet the market becoming more and more appealing for them to bet the Astros. That makes me uncomfortable. I need to win, and I can't start off the day by backing the Astros while the market's moving towards the Mariners and the money's on the Astros. LJ from H-Town says, I'm back on the Astros minus 1.5 today. Astros are 12-6 on the third game of a home series. 8 wins by the run line. And Matty Ice eating at the U.S. Open. Great work. Johnny K likes the under. Harold Williams likes the over. A small move to the under. CT Bay says that Eddings, the home plate umpire, 17-8 to the under. There's Bled's W in the house. Great to see you, Bled's, my guy. So clearly, this under would be, I guess, my only look at this point. And let's just see what this first 5 total is right now. The full game is at 9. So this has got to be sitting at 5, and it's not. It's already moved to 4.5, so I lost that spot. Creo says Astros should definitely win today, and I am and Harold on the over. Harold running hot. I'm staying off Mariners Astros, unfortunately. Let's move on to 3:10 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants at Colorado Rockies. There was a giant 50-cent move at the start of the show on the Giants yesterday. That became like a 75-cent move by the end of the show. We had the Pamper Pop play of the day on the Giants first 5 minus a half. We had the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day on the Giants minus 1.5. Why did I not jump on that? Easy cash. Turnsy in the house is on Rusty Kuntz. First 5 minus a half for the Rusty Kuntz play of the day. We also have razor sharp picks in the house. Rusty Kuntz play of the day is in. And shout out to all Rusty Kuntz. play of the day. There's Turnsy's big smile resting on the giant knob of Rusty Kuntz. Rusty Kuntz play of the day is in. And let me just get this off. Here we go. Rusty Kuntz in. Let me pop that up. I have already moved on the under 9 in that game. It did open at 9.5. If I hadn't been, knee deep in a bottle of Kraken and breaking out football for 3 hours. Okay. And TJ is also on the Yankees, but Eric Jones and I are on the other side of the fence with the Blue Jays. Okay, so let's move on to the next spot on the card. It's Giants, Rockies, Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. 84 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour in. Anthony DeSclafani on the bump for the Giants. 11-6, 3.24 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, 141 2/3, 132 Ks, 39 walks, and 18 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings. He looked excellent. 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, and a 3-2 extra inning win at home versus the Dodgers. John Gray, the Gray Wolf, on the other side. Gray, 7-10, 4.13 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, 126 in the third, 125 Ks, 53 walks, 14 home runs. There's Lucky Power in the house. Mr. Gokster says sneaky no-run first inning plus 144. He says that he loves it. Mr. Gokster loving it. Arthur Mead says, I will take a chance on the Colorado Rockies. And Johnny K liking Rockies first five. John Gray, last start, just 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 2 Ks, and a 5-2 loss at the Dodgers. At home, he's been better than he's been on the road all year. At home, 5-4, 3.67 ERA, 194 opponent's batting average. That's a very, very nice numbers for the thin air at Coors. On the road, he's 2-6 with a 4.68 ERA, 287 opponent's batting average. Giants aren't smashing righties right now. Last 30 days, 244 with a 744 OPS. Rockies versus righties, 226.94 OPS, and the Giants bullpen being lights out. Absolutely lights out, 2.56 ERA. And last 30 days, and the Rockies bullpen 4.17 ERA. All right, Fat Wally, much love to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. CT Bay says, I need the Giants lineup, Belt and Crawford, Rock, Gray. Let's move over because we know that there's a long history between Gray and the Giants. Let's move over there right now. Against Gray, they're hitting 301, but with an 807 OPS. So 37 for 123, but 8 of those are doubles and 3 homers, so not a ton of extra base hits there. Brandon Belt batting 400 with a 1.252 OPS. He does 12 for 30 with 5 doubles and 2 homers. Crawford 8 for 23 with a double and a homer. But Posey just 5 for 17. Chris Bryant 1 for 5. Yastrzemski 3 for 15. Longoria 2 for 12. Nuflashan says you cannot bet this game until the starting lineup for the Giants is out. I can see 3 to 4 starters getting the day off on the travel day. And the Rockies' first 5 might be staring us in the face, but we want to know that the Giants are getting these days off. And if we see that they are, we're likely to see an early move. I bet you this market will give us an inclination of what's going on with the lineups here. The Giants open up at -150. They're now -140. God, there's not a lot of risk reward on the Rockies with this price. Not a lot of risk reward. Noli knows says, so you would agree the first 5 under nut flush. Creo says DeSclafani's nasty versus the Rockies, but he has a 6 ERA during the day, and the Rockies didn't do much yesterday, so I can see a potential bounce back, and he gives some up. Teacher says, even with the day off, the bench that come in for the starters are still better than the Rockies. Mr. Gokster also leading to the first 5 under. Let's go over there right now. Top set, I did not help last night. Did not help with MLB. And I apologize for the poor guidance that I gave. All right, let's take a look at DeSclafani then against these Rockies. They're hitting 235 with a 588 OPS. Wow, 20 for 85 with just 3 extra base hits. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this spot. 2,711 tickets in. So we have 89% of the tickets and 71% of the cash on the Giants, and the market's moving towards the Rockies. Then we have 52% of the tickets and 98% of the cash on the under. Wow. So the Rockies and the under are the spots here. Henry Dice says Rockies money line. Let's see what I would get on a first 5 for the Colorado Rockies. God, 125 full game and just 110 first 5. That's not the kind of risk reward I'm looking for. Maybe the play is the first 5 under. Danzo says Giants are smashing the Rockies. Belt, Posey, Crawford are killing Colorado in this series. And TJ says under first 5, lock it in. 84 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour in. And Noli got the 6.5. Do I really want to chase this market move where the 6 is a push? I need 5 runs in the thin air. It sucks. It sucks when that 6 is a push, but it's a cash for the smart cappers who got in early. I'm just going to leave that under 6 as a lean here. I do not want to start by reaching, and I'm not certain that the risk reward is appropriate for a Rockies team. But, this team that's 13 games under 500 is 45-26 at home. The Rockies at home have a better record than the Giants on the road. TJ says if you think the Rockies have a chance, you play the under. Mr. Goxie says no run first inning, juicy. And TJ says, wait, it might go back to 6.5. That's interesting. Let's take a closer look here at that first 5. We'll go to see what BetOnline is doing with it. And by the way, it's still at 11.5 full game. So that it's just that first 5. So let's go over the first 5 here from BetOnline and see what they've done with it. It doesn't look like it. There's been a 5-cent move to the under since it moved to 6 at 9:41 in the morning. And Gambler's first glance is in. Marlins money line going for 5 straight. Razor sharp picks going for 5 straight with the Marlins money line. Alcantara looking dangerous in that spot against 41-year-old Rich Hill, the librarian. Ooh, Gambler's first glance is in. All right, let's keep rolling. Nutflash says Rockies feed off that crowd, and the day game should be pretty quiet. I have the under 6 as a lean right now, and I'm not certain. Not certain that the risk reward is there for this Rocky squad. All right, we move on to 3:40 p.m. Eastern, and Diamondbacks first 5 -0.5 is right here on my sheet, but I did not bet it. Let's break it down. Rangers 50-88, 19-51 on the road. The Diamondbacks 45-94, 28-42 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. This roof expected to be closed. Kohei Arihara coming off a good start in a 9-5 loss at home versus the Rockies. It was that start where he was up against Freeland, and the market was telling us that Arihara was going to have a good start and that the Rangers were going to play well in this game. And I was going to take Freeland first 5, and the market got me off of it. Sure enough, the Rangers cashed the first 5, and it's the bullpen that lets the Rangers down. CT Bay says, I like Weaver and that first 5 look today. Luke Weaver, his last start was at home versus the Padres. So he's got back-to-back starts at home to get into his routine. He's only thrown 46 innings this year, and he's a 4.11 ERA, 1.13 whip. His last start at home was nice. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, no walks, 3 Ks, and an 8-3 win versus the Padres. At home, he's 3-0 with a 1.32 ERA, and the opponents are batting 163 off of him at home. He's got spectacular stats at home. On the road, they're hitting 304, and he's got an 8.20 ERA. And Noli says Freeland was pulled in the top of the second in that game. You're absolutely right. He was, and it was the bullpen that looked good for the Rockies, which is a rarity. Okay, so Diamondbacks aren't hitting righties at all. 237, 688 OPS, and the Rangers are hitting righties quite a bit better of late. 262, nice average, but just 731 OPS. Kohei Arihara has been much better on the road than he has been at home. These splits set up for a decent pitching performance from both of these guys. The Diamondbacks have never seen Arihara, and the only Jason Martin has seen Luke Weaver. That, again, kind of sets up for a bit of an under look. Let's move over to the cash here. The under, which I was staring at, was moving against me, so there was no need to make a move. The total full game's gone from 8.5 to 9, and Arizona's gone from -150 to -158, an 8-cent move towards them. When we go to the cash flow to see if that will explain the situation here, we have 3,165 tickets in. 56% of the tickets, 64% of the cash on Arizona and the market moving towards them, then 62% of tickets on the over, and I don't have the cash numbers up for this total. TJ says, guys, we are not backing Texas here. The pen is better. Arizona as a favorite. Are you kidding me? Oh, guys, why are we not backing Texas here? Why are we not backing Texas here? Matty Ice says, I can't put my money on Texas. So, yes, I understand why you would do that full game. But Luke Weaver seems to be rolling right now. Do you trust the Rangers to get to him? And that's the question. That's what it all comes down to, and that's the reason why I didn't move on this spot. Let's move over to the first 5 odds here. The total is at 4.5. It was juiced to the under. It's now juiced to the over. It's interesting that that's not gone to 5 when the full game's gone from 8.5 to 9. And let's see the market here on first 5 has been no movement. Arizona opening up at -155, and that's where it is. Razor Sharp Pick says, always shot time, Noli. Shot time, Jimmy, let's go again. I mean, I could very easily. But I knew that if I even had the Kraken anywhere near me, that would arise. And I need to stay focused here. So I'm not going to hit the Kraken on a Wednesday morning at this point. We'll see if Jose bullies me into drinking. That's the only possible thing here. The market moving from 8.5 to 9 throws me for a loop. Do I really want to back Luke Weaver here in this spot? His sample size is small, but the consecutive home starts makes me think he's going to have a nice outing. Puzzler says Arihara has the highest balls hit 95% up I've ever seen at 35.6%. Diamondbacks first 5 -0.5. It is a tricky spot. And there's a reason why I didn't bet it already. I mean, I made 5 bets and I didn't bet it already. Shlomi OZ says, Jimmy, my guy, give me Texas all day. Duffalo Shalom says, I have no idea why, but the Rangers look like they actually care a little. Creo, thank you for taking the time to hang with us, my man. Okay, I'm still not going to pull the trigger there. Mr. Goxer says no run first inning in Texas, Arizona. Still haven't pulled the trigger. All right, let's talk about the first trigger that was pulled and the Rusty Kuntz play of the day. Rusty Kuntz play of the day is the Indians first 5 -0.5 at +1-2, and I get it. I absolutely get it. Tristan McKenzie is pitching very well. Ever since he spent a month in the minors, he's come back and he is rolling. I looked at this spot. I thought about this spot. The Rusty Kuntz play of the day is the Indians first 5 -0.5 at +102. I moved on the under 9 and -115. Razor Sharp Pick says Wednesday mornings are great for drinking. Give you enough time to recover before the weekend gets here and you are just getting over the hangover from the weekend before. TJ says Arihara hard hit rate is only 12.5%. And so TJ and Puzzler on different sides here of Arihara's hard hit rate. Matty Ice is on the under here again, and it was a great call last night, and I'm on it here. Rusty Kuntz play today and my under 9 at -115. Let's talk about it. Twins at Indians. Twins 29-41. Indians 35-32 at home. Twins 29-41 on the road. 76 Fahrenheit clear. 8 miles per hour in is the weather that will help us. Joe Ryan on the bump. We talked about the 25-year-old and the high expectations the Twins have for him. AAA Durham and AAA St. Paul combined, he had a 3.41 ERA and just a 0.78 whip, 92 Ks in 66 innings, and I backed him. I backed him on that first start, and it didn't go well for me. The full game here is what I'm on, but the first 5 is appealing. I just don't want to double up on this spot. Tristan McKenzie on the hill for Cleveland, 4-5, 4.62 ERA, 1.11 whip. His last start was at the Royals, and it was excellent. 6 innings, 2 hits, just 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. The Twins versus righties, 246, 762 OPS. Indians versus righties, 255, 760 OPS. Both clubs hitting righties over the last 30 days. Twins bullpen being excellent over the last 30 days as well, 3.38 ERA. Ski Prop says McKenzie last 21 innings and a 0.86 ERA. Razor, thank you for the kind words about the NFL show. It's exciting. It's just so exciting to have the season starting off for us. Arthur Mead also on the under. YouTube, everything's on the Twins full game. Henry Dice on the first 5 under 4.5. 4.5. Okay, so let's move over to baseball data here. And we know that the Indians have not seen Joe Ryan. The Twins have seen Tristan McKenzie and not touched him at all. 111 with a 683 OPS. Let's take a look at this market in this spot and then take a look at the cash and decide if it is a double up warranted spot. The first 5's gone from 5 to 4.5. And when did it move to 4.5? Let's just check this out quickly. It opened at 4.5 at BetOnline at 7:49. So no worries there. Let's move over to full game and see what we are dealing with. We have the 9.5 down to 9. There's only been a 5-cent move since I got the 9 on the under. And Cleveland opening up at -134 is now at -127. So a 7-cent move towards the Minnesota Twins and youngster Joe Ryan. Let's move over to the cash flow and see if this all makes sense. We have 3,429 tickets in. 79% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the Indians, and yet the market moving towards the Twins is wild, and it's a split on the total. 49% of tickets on the under, 48% cash on the under. It tells me that Joe Ryan is going to have a good start. Joe Ryan is going to have a good start is what it tells me. So I'm just going to stick with my full game under 9. I would prefer a 5 if the first 5 was available, and we already know Rusty Kuntz on the first 5 -0.5. YouTube, everything says hard to beat a team twice. Twins have value, full game, and Ryan will pitch a gem. And Kevin Riley says Twins manager Baldelli 37-19 to the under in September. Look at that. Johnny K liking the under 2. All right, no double up for me and no side. I'm going to sit here with the under 9 and hope for nice starts from both these two young fire ballers. We move on, 6:35 p.m. Eastern. The Detroit Tigers at Pittsburgh Pirates. Tigers are 65-75, 30-40 on the road. Pirates 15-89, 30-38 at home. PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 69 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour out to left. We have Matt Manning up against Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller keeps doing this. His splits are outrageous. At home, in pitcher-friendly PNC Park, where the Pirates are just 8 games under 500, 39 games under 500 overall, he's 2-7 with an 8.31 ERA and a 341 opponent's batting average. Every batter that faces Mitch Keller when he's at PNC Park is Mike Trout. On the road, he's very good. 2-3, 3.63 ERA. Opponents hitting 269 against him. Tigers aren't hitting righties, and the Pirates aren't hitting righties. 224, 676 for the Tigers. 224, 640 OPS for the Pirates. And both bullpens are now middling with an ERA just slightly over 4 on the last 30 days. Matty Ice says Tigers money line. Johnny K, Tigers team total over. Arthur Mead Jr., I like the Detroit Tigers. CT Bay says Ryan, Weaver, and Gil, young starters, I think will pitch well today. Pirates 18 runs in the first 5 in the last 5 games from LJ from H-Town. So Matt Manning, also a pitcher with stats that make him look like he's going to get touched here. At home, he's 2-2 with a 4.72 ERA, 294 opponents batting average. On the road, 1-4, 8.16 ERA, 319 opponents batting average. His last start was at home, Matt Manning, and it was terrible. 3 2/3, 8 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 walks, 1 K, and 8-6 loss at home versus the A's. All right, so let's move over to baseball data with these two guys. The Pirates have never seen Matt Manning, and against Mitch Keller, these Tigers are 6 for 22. They're hitting 273 with a 713 OPS. Then we move over to the cash flow. Keller opening up at -109. He's now -116, so a 7-cent move towards these Pittsburgh Pirates. This total opening up at 9, juice to the over. There's been a 2-cent move back to the under. So let's take a look at the cash flow. We have a 7-cent move towards the Pittsburgh Pirates, and that was my initial feel. Before I started getting too caught up in the splits, I thought, you know what, Manning's looked so bad on the road all year. Why not stick with that? But can you trust trust Mitch Keller at home? And the answer was no to me, and that's why I didn't move on it. Here we go, 3,001 tickets in. 37% of the tickets and 51% of the cash on the Pirates. And the 7-cent move towards them. Then you have 35% of tickets and 91% of the cash on the under with, as Mr. Goetzer says, 2 gas cans on the mound. Mark Schillingberg says, I'm telling you guys, Pirates only team to not sweep another team in the MLB this year. Says Detroit will win. Dav Fenn liking these plays of the day so far. Mally Mouse says both trash on the mound. And Arthur Meade Jr. liking Iowa at Iowa State under in college football. Nutflash John says, have you looked at the Tigers team total over? And this, we've seen a 2-cent move, just a 2-cent move to the under, sitting at 9. Very strange. Have I looked at the Tigers team total over? I'm not sure if, I guess I should trust these bats against these 2 pitchers, shouldn't I? I should trust these bats. Let's take a look at the first 5. What has the first 5 done? I'm sure it's sitting at 5 right now. It's moved to 4.5. Why would it move to 4.5? An expectation that these pitchers will look good. BetOnline opened it at 4.5. That's interesting. Pinnacle just moved it. Oh, Pinnacle opened it at 5, down to 4.5, back to 5, down to 4.5, and just moved it back to 5. I guess that first 5, 4.5 is appealing. Well, if I can get a first 5 at 4.5, I will move on it. But I won't move on it at 5. I think Manning and Keller are both vulnerable to these weak-hitting teams. All right, let's roll on. That looks to be the first addition that I've made at this point. The first 5 over 4.5 in Tigers Pirates. Nutflesh says, what number can you get on the team total over for the Tigers? Let's pull that up for you right now. And here we go. Team total on the Tigers at Bet365 right now is at 4.5. And that's heavily juiced to the under at -130. So the over sitting at +100. There's DJ Big Boss in the house. He will be joining us for the tomorrow's show to break down his best looks and favorite looks in college football. Okay, first 5 over 4.5. Tigers, Pirates. We move on to 6:40 p.m. Eastern, and that brings us to a gambler's first glance from Razor Sharp Picks. Marlins money line at +107. And Mr. Goetzer says the line seems way too low. Couple of trash cans. Yeah, you're right. And the public seeing the 6 ERAs, it's interesting that it's not moved further to the over. Makes me think these guys have an okay start, but they got to be vulnerable here. And we have 91% of the cash, 35% of tickets, 91% of the cash on the under. That's huge, sharp action on this under. Huge, sharp action. Because the public sees gas cans, the public's going to bet the over, but clearly there's sharp money on this under. Razor Sharp Pick says Pirates opened at -110, now -118, but everyone betting Detroit. You know, this doesn't sit right. This just doesn't feel right. Something's amiss here. And I don't think I should move on this first 5 over 4.5. Why would I go up against the Sharps? I'm not going to. I'm taking that off the board. Cheshire Cat says, anyone know why money's coming on Rockies first 5? Cheshire Cat, we think that it has to do with the Giants resting starters. That's what we think. And Puzzler says, I'm inclined to take the first 5 under. The spreadsheet play of the day is in from our Ron Crawford, and it is Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks spreadsheet play of the day is in Arizona. And man, that correlates. That correlates with my plan for the Diamondbacks first 5 that I talked myself out of. Wow. All right. Okay. So we move on to, so I'm taking off that first 5 over 4.5. It just, something is not right. Something is not right. We move on to the Mets, Marlins. Mets just 29-42 on the road. Their poor performances on the road are going to cost them a wild card spot. Going up against the Marlins, 57-81, 36-34 at home. We're at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. I expect this roof to be closed. CT Bay says split say Pirates, and I'm on it. They do. It does. And Jeff T says Chris Bryant strained his pinky toe. Thank you for the heads up on that, Jeff. Yeah, the market. If you were basing something on just the market, it is telling us, it is telling us that Pittsburgh's the right side with 38% of tickets and 54% of cash. Okay. Roof closed. 41-year-old Rich Hill on the bump. 0-2, 4.06 ERA, 1.22 whip, 37 2/3, 28 Ks, 9 walks, 5 home runs with the New York Mets. Last start was nice. He had back-to-back starts against the Nats. He went 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks in a 6-2 extra inning win at Washington. Going up against Sandy Alcantara. 8-13, 3.36 ERA, 1.12 whip, 164 Ks, 171 2/3, 47 walks, 18 home runs. His last start was at the Mets, and he was decent, 6 1/3, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, no walks, 6 Ks. At home, he's been excellent all year. 2-5, 2.34 ERA, 196 opponents batting average. On the road, 6-8, 4.34 ERA, 257 opponents batting average. Kev Riley says no Jimmy Detroit money line, and he's not the only one. Ross Pitt's also on Detroit. Not for me. I'm going to stay off, but I will cheer you guys on. Mets first righties last 30 days, 261, 759 OPS. Here's the stat that jumps out at you when you look at this game, and that is the Marlins versus lefties. Marlins versus lefties right now. Very impressive. 253, 802 OPS. Mets bullpen being very good over the last 30 days, 3.16 ERA, and the Marlins bullpen is struggling. Struggling very much here with a 4.69 ERA over the last 30 days. All right, CD Base says check for Rojas and Aguilar, who both missed yesterday with minor injuries. That is a big piece. So I see Rich Hill is pitching better right now, and I've gotten over the fact that the Rays did not want him on their roster. They wanted Waka over him. This first 5 total is sitting at just 3.5, and Alcantara is sitting at -120 or -125. He opened at -110, so there's been a 10-cent move to the Marlins first 5. Let's move over to full game here. And full game, the Mets opened up at -129, and now -104. A 25-cent move to the Miami Marlins. And now this total has gone down to 7 from the 7.5 opener. And the under 500 road favorites are the Mets and the Royals. Wow. Okay. R says Keuchel pitching bet the over. That total's gone from 9 to 8.5. Now I'm all over the A's. I still don't trust Keuchel, and I don't think they'd want him on the bump. But yes, we did speak on the Astros game, Mally Mal, and I'll go over it briefly for you, as you are a OG low bagger who deserves whatever he pleases. Okay, so let's take a look at the baseball data and then the cash here in this spot. Against Rich Hill, they're hitting 278 with a 794 OPS. But it's Rojas and Aguilar that get to him 2 for 4 and 2 for 8. And we need them in the lineup. So I think it's a very, very important point that CT Bay's made. I want to see these lineups. I want to see them in there. And if I don't, then that's probably one of the reasons why this total is being bet towards the under. TJ says Alcantara is significantly better at home. Sierra and XFIP are excellent. Don't see that often. This is Cole type stuff. Boogeyman says I need one banger for the day. Thank you for joining us, Boogeyman. So let's take a look at the cash, and then we'll move on past this game. And I want the Marlins, and I would prefer to bet them first 5. So I'm going to wait to see if Rojas and Aguilar are in the lineup. And if they are, I will pull the trigger on Miami. We have 3,215 tickets in, 58% of the tickets, 73% of the cash, clearly sharp money on the Marlins, and razor sharp picks also on the Marlins. Then 42% of the tickets, 71% of cash on the under. All right, and I will be moving on the Marlins as soon as I know about Rojas and Aguilar. So there you have it. Next up, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Kansas City Royals, 62-76, 28-41 on the road at Baltimore Orioles, 44-93, 20-45 at home at Oriole Park in Camden Yards, Baltimore, Maryland, 80 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 12 miles per hour out to left center. Mike Minor going up against Matt Harvey. Minor 8-12, 5.25 ERA, 1.26 WHIP, 152 2/3, 146 Ks, 41 walks, and 26 home runs in his last start. Mike Minor goes 5 innings, allows 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 1 homer, no walks, 4 Ks, and a 4-2 loss at home versus Cleveland. Going up against the batted man, Matt Harvey, 6-14, 6.28 ERA, 1.52 WHIP. He did have that run of nice starts there mid-season, and it looks like he's coming back to the Matt Harvey that we remember. Last start at Toronto, 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, a walk, and 0 Ks. But the Royals aren't hitting righties, 246, 56 OPS, and the Orioles aren't hitting lefties, 237, 671 OPS, and the Royals bullpen has been lights out of late. Okay, let's take a look at this market here. YouTube, everything says Orioles care a little. And Trusty, on my way to Tennessee to Kentucky Downs, good luck. I love that, Trusty. That's just incredible. Have a spectacular day. All right. Apollo, this says starting to lean towards Cowboys tomorrow. Money line definitely +8. Wow. Bregman sitting for the Astros today. Wow, that's a great note, CT Base. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this Royals-Orioles market move here. It opens at 10. It moves to 9.5, so expecting a nice pitching performance. And only a 4-cent move to the Kansas City Royals. A 4-cent move to the Royals when you expect the public to be on them. Just 1,500 tickets in, 1,475, and 67% of the tickets, but 49% of cash on the Royals. So interesting to see that it appears that the big bets are coming in on the Orioles. 37% of tickets on the under and 72% of cash on the under. So again, it looks like the smart money is coming in on the under, and it's moved from 10 to 9.5. We go over to the baseball data. Mike Minor against them, they're 245, 49 OPS. And look at their numbers against Harvey, 221 with a 581 OPS. Wow. So then we look at the first 5. You assume that has moved as well from a 5.5 to a 5. That would be the assumption. Let's see if that's happened here. And no, it's moved. It's 5, and now Pinnacle just moved it to 5.5. So what? There's an expectation at Pinnacle that the first 5 is going to go over, but the full game is going to stay under 9.5. Wow. 12 miles per hour out to left center. It's hot and humid. It's perfect weather for offense in Baltimore. TJ says, I wanted the under, but the win and Harvey getting smashed last 5 starts. Yeah, I agree. I can't move on this spot. I can't trust this spot. I can't put my money on this spot. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays at the New York Yankees. Blue Jays, Yankees, Manoah versus Luis Gil, the 23-year-old fireballer. We have a couple different things happening here, a few different things. 1, we've already heard the taint play of the day is on the Yankees. And 2, Jose Seje play of the day is coming up right now, and he is now back in the throes of red. He is now down on this show. And, I don't feel like I'm a disappointed father enough right now. I don't know about your father or how your fathers handled situations like this, but a disappointed father would take out a shot of alcohol, throw it back, and then just lay into his son for the smiling tomfoolery that was on the show yesterday. The feel good. He just felt he was happy. He had a haircut. He didn't have a mustache. Felt good about himself. And he just hands us, a loser, on a silver platter, just hands out a fucking loser to us. And I don't feel like I'm disappointed enough right now. So I am going to have to pull out the Kraken, and I'm going to have a shot of it so that I can truly lay in to Jose the way he deserves to be laid into. So I'm going to take a step away. I'm going to grab Sir Kraken, pull it out. So Jose the Say Hey play of the day is here, and he is going to jump on the show and take over right now. Jose, welcome to the show.
Hello. Nice to see you, Jimmy. How about we just run a commercial? I don't know. How about we see our little sponsors from Manscaped while you go take a poop and do whatever you got to do.
It's not a poop. I want to get really angry with you, Jose, because that's what I want to do. I want to lay into you, and I just don't feel like I'm right now. So no, I don't want I don't want a fucking Manscaped commercial. I want your fucking smile. Wipe that smile off your face. Wipe that fucking smile off your face. You be serious here, and you tell us a little bit about your plan here in this Manoah Luis Gil spot, and I will come back and just fucking lay a strip into you, motherfucker.
Okay, then. That was disturbing. So welcome everyone to the show. I'm glad you guys are watching me. Yes, this is my game. Honestly, I was on the Blue Jays. And Matty Ice has put a wrench into my plans. I was a little scared when he said Yankees money line. However, I think I can still get away with a win here, guys. I'm on the Blue Jays. First 5 team total over 2.5. Minus 101. Sorry for the burps. Minus 101 there. Luis Gil, apparently his name is pronounced, guys. Luis Gil. No G in there. Gil. That is our Hispanic brother right there. But I think he gets touched up today. I believe in this. Thank you for the matching jersey background, by the way.
Stay focused.
You're right. I believe in the Blue Jays lineup. They've been hot. Yankees have been cold. I think 2-8 in the last 10. It's been even more frustrating to be a Red Sox fan these last couple of days. So I believe in the Blue Jays offense, especially 3 runs off of Gil is not much to ask for. So minus 101 around evens. So go do it.
Jose putting his stink on my Blue Jays action. Oh God. Oh,
Jimmy, I also just to piss you off even more, I wore this jersey just to bother you a little bit, just to give you another shiv right into the ribs.
Jose, I tell you first and foremost, I don't give a single fuck about your jersey. What I care about is you getting back into the black and giving winners out to my friends and family that trust us and trust the show. And now you are going up against Taint, and you are on the same side as me, and I can feel your stank all over me.
What does it smell like?
It smells fucking awful, Jose. It smells awful. Jesus.
Well, we're going to cash it together, Jimmy. Me and you, arm in arm. Remember. We're going to be arm in arm, and the Blue Jays are going to get it done for us. The Blue Jays are going to get it done for us. Vladdy's going to hit a 3-run home run in the first 3 innings, and then we're going to be celebrating all day long.
I have Jose stank all over me. I'm nervous about this spot. Manoah. Supposed to be a big game pitcher. Do you trust Alek Manoah here?
I'm kind of soured a little bit on Manoah. He had, I believe his last start off was a tough one. I believe he gave up 6 earned runs in it. I don't have his stats out in front of me right now. But he's supposed to be this guy, but he's definitely an emotional pitcher, and he can get rattled by an early run or two. So I can see him all collapsing for him if he does give out that early run or two. But I think Gil, like you guys, the chat's saying right now, still waiting for Gil's first earned run of the season, all this stuff. I did this before. I forgot who the young pitcher I faded last time out when he was rolling, but I did this earlier this year. A young pitcher rolling, comes back to earth a little bit after, a little bit of tape on him in the majors, see what he does. And the Blue Jays offense is extremely capable. I'm not sure on Springer's status today. Jimmy, you might have more knowledge on that than I do since this is your squad. But I see Springer out in and out of the lineup all the time. If he's in the lineup, I feel better about it. However, even if he isn't, I still think this is one of the best offenses in baseball. They're creeping up on the wild card. They need all these games. They're motivated. I think they get it done.
First 5 under 5.5 for Noli knows. This under's moved 1 cent. There's been a 1 cent move to the under 10. There's been a 1 cent move to the New York Yankees. And we have the cash flow situation. 4,123 tickets in, 43% of the money line tickets on the Yankees and 60% of the cash, just a 1 cent move towards them. Then 56% of the tickets and 55% of the cash on the under. CT Bay says Manoah got rocked last start. He doesn't seem to get rocked in back-to-back starts. Doesn't seem to get hurt like that. Barry Smith says slap Jose with a water balloon. Barry Smith gets it. Millsy in the house says me Yankees. And we have a couple special guests here as well. Hunter Engelhart in the house who will be making an appearance on the show shortly. Some great things coming in from the chat here for you, Jose. Razor Sharp asking if you got that jersey at Gap Kids.
Yes.
You did? Okay. And then is that your 8th grade artwork hanging up on the wall? That's what Not Flush Allen's asking about.
Shout out to Helga who drew it, but yes, it is about the same. Yes.
All right, there you have it. I'm on the same side as Jose, and he stayed very serious, and I respect that, Jose. You wiped that fucking smile off your face. You are now a losing capper, and we want you to be a winning capper because you had a joie de vivre. You had a confidence about you that looks gone. You look like a shadow of your former self.
Well, the Cubs spat in my mouth last night. That should have been a winner, but 2 home runs in the 8th inning really just fucked me up. So shout out to the Cubs for spitting my mouth last night. I almost went back to
sure that was spit, Jose. God bless you, Jose. Thank you for sharing your hard work. Please may it work. And that is a full game look for you?
No, this is the first 5-team total over 2.5. Right now on our friends at Pinnacle, -101. So you get your even money shot there.
-101. Nasty Nate says your smile makes him kick children. How do you feel about that?
How far?
Good question. Ski Prop says, does he have to grow the mustache again? No, he's right there. You are right. The black is still sitting there. Don't let it get away from you because baseball's been getting away from me. Jose, you son of a bitch, thank you for joining us. And please keep your stank off my action.
No problem. I appreciate you, Jimmy. And if we keep drinking that Kraken, this show's going to end up being 3 hours. So I'm a little concerned.
You have every right to be concerned. There he is, Jose. Say hey, play of the day. I'm also on the Blue Jays full game at +100. We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays at Boston Red Sox. Rays are 88-51, 43-25 on the road. The Red Sox 79-62, 43-29 at home. Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. 74 Fahrenheit clear, 13 miles per hour out to left center. Shane McClanahan going up against Nate Eovaldi. McClanahan's last start was at home to the Red Sox. It was the Rodriguez start where Rodriguez was spectacular and McClanahan was not. McClanahan, 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, no homers, 2 walks, 8 Ks, and a 4-0 loss at home to the Red Sox. McClanahan, 3.76 ERA, 1.32 whip on the season. Eovaldi has been very good at home this year. 6-3, 3.08 ERA, 2.35 opponent's batting average. In his last start at home versus Cleveland, he was good. It was a quality start. He goes 6 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 9 Ks, and 8.5 win at home. And now he has consecutive home starts. But this is a dangerous Rays offense. Now they're destroying lefties. OPS over 900 over the last 30 days. They're against righties here, 252, 788 OPS. And the Red Sox are smashing lefties. 298 with an 834 OPS. And they've been seeing a lot of McClanahan. A lot. TJ says, can't stick around, but smash the like, and we'll watch the rest in a bit. Much love to you, TJ. The play of the day for TJ's Cubs, first 5 +115. I'm also on this. I'm also on that spot. Jeffrey Blue, pick of the day, Braves team total over 5.5. Easy cash last night. Let's stay hot from our Jeffrey Blue and his blue balls action. I'm going to copy and paste that right here. And we can't do that every time. We have to surprise with that. We have to surprise Jose with that. We can, it's got to be. We can't just do that every day. If we do that every day, it takes the expectation. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at the market and the baseball data against McClanahan, the Red Sox are hitting 289, but with a 738 OPS, so 13 for 45, but just one double and one homer. Against Eovaldi, 254 with an 857 OPS. Hoops 590 says tailing Rays team total over. Sean Thompson says they just own the Red Sox. LJ from H-Town says Rays are 12-7, third game of a series, and they've won 11 wins by the run line. Wow, 12-7, third game of a series. Dutch Boy Fresh, thank you. You can call me a lot of things. Some are negative, some are positive, but I'm loyal. I'm fucking loyal, and I'll always be loyal. Okay, Barry Smith says upset of the day, Rockies money line. Let's take a look at the market move here, and I'm nervous to fade the Rays in any situation, but maybe this is the right one. There's been a small move towards the Red Sox, and this total's gone from 9.5 to 10. Maybe this is the spot to take these Boston Red Sox first 5. Maybe it is the spot. We have 4,388 tickets in, 63% of the tickets, 54% of the cash on the Rays, and then 38% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the under. And the under's gone from 9.5 to 10. Rem Mo says, let's bring Jose back and marvel at his greatness. I'm not sure if that's tongue-in-cheek, but it's nice to hear, right, Jose? Nice to hear. Says he wants to build a statue in your honor in his backyard. Yeah, all right. He's pleased. He's pleased. Cheshire Cats has got to be the Rays. And YouTube everything says Rays win. They're going to tee off on Eovaldi. So let's just see who hits Eovaldi, because I like this back-to-back home opportunity for him. Joey Wendell, 6 for 14. Austin Meadows, 7 for 18. Rosarino, 1 for 11. Nelson Cruz, 2 for 11. I think that the Red Sox first 5 is a decent look. Let's just see if there's been any kind of market move on the Red Sox first 5. We're going to move over there right now. God, I do not want to be fading these Rays at all, but I kind of like Eovaldi in a second straight home start. We'll see what BetOnline has done here with a market move on the first 5, a 10-cent move to the Red Sox. God, I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense. Sean Thompson says, I've had the pleasure of fading the Red Sox since the All-Star break. It's wonderful. Puzzler says, not much about Boston's play lately would inspire confidence in me. Johnny K liking the Red Sox team total over. I like the consecutive home starts for Eovaldi. I like those numbers, his splits. But Cheshire Cat says Raves have touched Eovaldi. Yeah, they've touched him. I kind of like him here. I'm just going to put a lean towards the Red Sox first 5. Red Sox first 5, lean. And Mr. Go says Boston versus lefties at home. Give it to me. Sean Thompson says Red Sox team total gets there. Okay, we move on, 7:20 p.m. Eastern, and we come to the Blue Balls pick of the day from Jeffrey Blue. It's Washington Nationals at Atlanta Braves. Nationals are 57-81, 24-42 on the road. Atlanta Braves 73-64, 34-32 at home. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. 77 Fahrenheit, humid, overcast, 6 miles per hour in. Sean Nolan going up against Tukey. Sean Nolan has had 3 of his 4 starts against the Mets, and that's not easy. You haven't pitched in the majors since 2015. You come up in 3 of your 4 starts against the Mets. In his last start, he went 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and a 6-2 extra inning loss at home. Tukey has not looked good of late. He's looked very, very vulnerable. Nats versus righties, 260, 749 OPS. Braves versus lefties, 241, 779 OPS. Nats bullpen being so bad last 30 days, 5.65 ERA. Only bullpen worse than them is the Boston Red Sox bullpen. They're the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball over the last 30 days. Sean Thomas says Nats not taking Atlanta. Tuke has trouble against this ball club. Okay, so let's take a look at the baseball data here quickly. And with the baseball data, we have no information or no action against Sean Nolan. Against Tukey, they're 2 for 9, but 2 homers, Garcia and Soto. I don't trust Tukey at all. CD Bases, keep an eye on Nationals overs to end the season. Seems like that's the spot. Let's see what the market has done and where the cash lies here. We have this first 5 over was at 5 at -111. There's been a 9-cent move Oh, sorry, there's been a 1 cent move. Excuse me, a 1 cent move towards the over. Full game money lines and totals here. We have it opening up at 9.5. Now it's at 10, and there has been a 9 cent move towards the Washington Nationals. When we go over to the cash on this spot, we have 1,866 tickets in. 80% of the tickets, 73% of the cash on Atlanta, but this move to the Nationals. And then we have 79% tickets and 99% cash on the under. So an expectation of a good start from these guys. I mean, you would expect that money to have come in at 10. And Jeffrey Blue on the Atlanta team total over. Arthur Mead says, I will take a chance on Washington first 5 innings. And Danzo says, if you're foolish enough to jump in front of the Rays train. Sean Thompson says, CT Bays nailed it over in Nats game till the wheels fall off. And Brian Watson wanted to know the expected catcher in this spot for the Nats. Let's pull that up. And Polo this just put $200 on Tampa Bay Cowboys to each score a TD each half at plus 110. Daddy Don in the house. Print department says Nats or Atlanta. Well, there's no way I'm going to take Atlanta with the public all over them and the market moving towards Washington. And I do not want to back Tukey. So my only thought is this a possibility for us to move on the under? That's my only thought here. So let's move over here to Atlanta. We do have a confirmed lineup for Houston. Altuve, Brantley, Gurriel, Alvarez, Correa, Tucker, Myers, Gonzalez. So they're trying to win this one. For Washington, we have, Ruiz expected to be catching. Keibert Ruiz expected to be catching. No, since I love saying Tukey. Okay, the over is the only possible move for me. And then it would be an over first 5 if I was to move on it. What is the weather here? We have 6 miles per hour in, but it is humid. And the over 5 seems appealing, doesn't it? It does. It seems like that's got to be the spot. And then we had a ton of money come in on the under, didn't we? Let's just look at that once more. We have 99% of cash on the under, so I can't sit here on that first 5 over, although it does seem like the look. All right, no move for me in Nationals. Braves. All right, let's move to the TJ play of the day and a move that I'm also on. TJ got 5 cents better than me. I'm also on the Cubs first 5 at plus 110, but I'm not sitting here hugely confident in the situation. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. These Reds are 74-66, 36-33 on the road. The Cubbies are 64-76, 38-33 at home. We're at Wrigley Field. 73 Fahrenheit clear, 13 miles sideways across the diamond. So last start for Vladimir Gutierrez, I said on the show, I said, look, he's vulnerable. He's hit a wall. And, the 25-year-old Cuban has a ton of skills, but he's not used to logging these long innings. Bleds W says, Noli, we need you on the show. Yes, Noli's in the process of getting some new equipment, and as soon as he does, he's going to be all over this show. I agree. We need Noli Knows on the show. Sox Bulls Bears says 7 games since Freddie Freeman has hit a home run. He's waiting for the Freddie Freeman hit a home run Braves to win the game. I like that. Interesting look. CT Bay said, hit the over yesterday with the Nats, but don't like 10 today. We'll take it. Plenty of thought. And Ross Pitts is on the over in that Houston-Seattle game. Okay, so let's go back to this idea that Vladimir Gutierrez has hit the wall. His last start, 3 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 1 K, and a 15-5 loss at home versus Detroit. Now, at home, he's been bad all year. 4.91 ERA, opponents hitting 282 against him. He's been good on the road, 6-2, 3.58 ERA, 230 opponents batting average. Alec Mills had that brilliant start against the White Sox and has come back with a poor start. Actually, it was pretty good. He got touched in the 5th inning. He had thrown up donuts until the 5th. 5 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 2 runs, 3 homers, 0 walks, 6 Ks. And a 6-5 win at home versus the Pirates. The Reds are hitting righties very hard. 249, 780 OPS. Cubs are hitting righties okay. Very little power. 247, 720. Reds bullpen has been bad, and so is the Cubs bullpen. Last 30 days, the Reds bullpen at 4.83 ERA, Cubs bullpen at 5.35 ERA. Sean Thompson says, yep, afraid to say it, but the Cubs will win. Let's move over to the market, but first the baseball data. And against Gutierrez, they're hitting him. 310 with a 931 OPS. 13 for 42 with 6 of those 13 hits for extra bases. And Alec Mills has been good against this tough Reds lineup. They're hitting 219 against them with a 712 OPS. So they're 21 for 96. Now, 5 of those 21 hits are homers. So let's move on to the market move and then the cash flow. I'm only on the first 5. I want to cut this down to as short as possible, and I'm not sitting here enormously confident in it. This total opened up at 4.5 minus 114 to the over. It's now over 4.5 at minus 120, a 6-cent move to the over. I get it. Deacon Mike says, just check the Wrigley Field cam, wind blowing more out to right. Like the over 2.5 home run prop, but if wind stays the same, we'll bet closer. We'll wait and bet closer to a game time. And Mr. Gogster has sideways wind, and I have sideways across the diamond. CT Bay says Cubs today. Hap is on fire, and Evan L on the other side with the Reds' first 5. So let's see what the cash has done here. Nervous to check. 2,950 tickets in. We have 74% of the tickets, but just 54% of the cash on the Reds. So that I like that. Then we have 45% of the tickets and 93% of cash on the over. And I think the over's in play here too. Matty Ice has Reds full game. I think the over is in play. I think the over is in play, and there's no reason not to go against both these bullpens as well. So let's move over. So the 4.5 first 5 has gone over, and this 9, sitting at 9 right now, is something I will be attacking. Mr. Ghoster, I lean to the first 5 over. I'm gonna take the full game over. I want these bullpens to be involved as well. Full game over. Deacon Mike says, even if it's sideways, it will help with fly balls out to right field. I love that. Deacon, great breakdown. I'm on the full game over Reds Cubbies, and that will be another addition for me. All right, we move on to 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Phillies at Milwaukee Brewers. Phillies are 71-67, 32-39 on the road. Milwaukee Brewers 85-55, 39-31 at home. We're at American Family Field, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 71 Fahrenheit, clear, 11 miles per hour, out to left center. Roof expected to be open. This is a tricky situation. You have Kyle Gibson, who has not looked good in a Philadelphia Phillies uniform. 4-3 with a 4.46 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. He has just 26 Ks and 42 1/3, but he has only allowed 3 homers. His last start was ugly. He was at the Marlins. He goes 5 1/3, 8 hits, 8 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. Does not look good. And then Freddie Peralta had some, we were not sure exactly what was going on, some shoulder soreness or some arm fatigue. He said that he was completely ready to go, 100% ready for the drive towards the playoffs. And then he shits the bed in a 15-4 loss at home to the Cards. 2 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, and 2 walks, 4 Ks. The Phillies aren't really hitting righties, 237, 26 OPS, and the Brewers are smashing righties, 284, 821 OPS. The Brewers are just playing good baseball. They're just playing good baseball. Let's take a look at this market and the baseball data here. But I find this a very tricky cap. The under 8 was at minus 111. It's now juiced to the over, so a move towards the over. And a 13-cent move towards the Phillies. Look, I was, beginning of the year, on this show, I said Freddie Peralta is an ace. And he played like one. Now I don't know what to do with him. I do not know what to do with him. Deacon Mike says I dressed like a road construction zone cone. Never really thought. That wasn't my thought, when I was looking in the mirror. But if it works, it works. Stu Chaos says, why don't the Brewers smack the Phillies today? Well, we've seen the market move. So we know that there's a... Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. We've seen the market move towards the over, and we've seen the market move towards the Phillies. So 13 cents and move towards the over. We have 3,606 tickets in. Look at this. 55% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Brew Crew. Expecting Peralta to have a good start and for something to be legitimately wrong with Gibson. Or they're expecting this Brewers offense just to keep rolling. Peralta to have a good start in this offense, keep rolling, but there's been a 30-cent move to the other side. Strange. Then 58% of tickets on the under and 80% of cash on the under and a move to the over. I'm staying far away from this game. I am not comfortable with this spot whatsoever and not moving on it. Move on to 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Dodgers, 88-51. Mr. Ghost saying Gibson hasn't looked that good since the All-Star break. Dodgers Cards is next up on the docket. These Dodgers, 88-51, 42-28 on the road. Jim Bean in the house. Jim Bean, nice to see you. Been a long time, man. Jim Bean says San Francisco lock from Jim Bean. All right, Dodgers Cardinals, Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, 79 Fahrenheit, clear, 9 miles per hour, sideways, slightly out to right field. Mitch White going up against Adam Wainwright. Wainwright pitching very well. He went up against Peralta in that start and was on. 6 in the third, 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 was earned, 3 walks, 4 Ks, 15-4 win. He's been good this year, and those home road splits are no longer an issue, although this is where he's good at home. Going up against Mitch White. Last start for Mitch White, 3 in the third, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 5-0 loss at home versus the Rockies. He has not been great this year. You know, he started off very strong, and his numbers overall are still good. 3.49 ERA, 1.29 whip, 38 in the third, 41 Ks, 17 walks, 5 home runs. Real Jolly Roger says that I'm subliminally telling you guys to use caution. Okay, I will. Oh, where is this anymore? Nolino says Gibson 1 bad start in the last 3. Other 2 6 innings pitched 0 runs, 8 innings pitched 1 run. So I'm gathering that Nolino's is on the under in that spot. Eric Jones says under 8.5 in this spot here. Dodgers, Cardinals. Let's take a closer look at the market move here. A huge move towards the Dodgers. Wow. Big move at Pinnacle towards the Dodgers. A 24-cent move. They open up at minus 102 with the Cards as favorites. They're now minus 126. A huge move towards St. Louis Cardinals. Interesting move. Jim Bean says Wainwright's been good the last 3. Give me the Cards. And Noli knows is on the full game here. Sean Thompson says, I don't get why you fade the Dodgers here. St. Louis is garbage. And are saying Bears, Rams way under. I like that look. Okay, so let's move over to baseball data here in this spot. We didn't do that for Gibson Peralta, and that's my fault. Against Gibson, they're 208 with a 557 OPS. Against Peralta, 321 with a 994 OPS. Dodgers, Cardinals here, they only have had 4 at-bats against Mitch White and haven't hit him. And they don't really get to Wainwright. 11 for 43. So 256 with a 645 OPS. Johnny K, like in the Cards. Lit pick says, I don't know why the market moving towards the Dodgers. White only has 4 total starts. Don't think he's in a good spot. And the over is what R is looking at. Okay, well, let's take a look and see where the cash is and why it's moved towards these LA Dodgers. We have 1,298 tickets in. It's 50-50 with the tickets and 50-50 with the cash. Then we have 69% tickets on the over and 70% of cash on the over. And R is on that over. Market telling us that this is an over game at 8.5, but there's been a move towards the under, making the over more appealing. Lit Pick says Cards off 4 losses, need a W to stay in the playoff race. Going to be a bullpen game for LA today. Wayne is clutch, and they need him desperately in this spot. He's won 8 of 9 starts, 1 earned run in last 3. And R says 2 bum pitchers bet over, calling Wainwright a bum. And the under 8.5 for Noli knows. I'm staying off of this spot and this market move towards the Dodgers. Dodgers bullpen on a bullpen day. Dodgers bullpen 1.98 ERA over the last 30 days. Jer Silky Man 412 is on the Giants money line, Rays money line, Jays money line, a 3-team parlay from Jer Silky Man 412. Turnsies on the Cards money line, and Dav Fan says Cardinals are not making the postseason. I think they know it. This night could be their last chance to win. They lose tomorrow for sure versus Urias. And Thomas Wiggins says Dodgers are 4-1 versus the Cards this year. I'm going to copy and paste Silky Man's parlay. See if that cashes for you, my guy. Okay, so no move for me in Dodgers, Cardinals. We move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Angels at Padres, 69 and 70, 31 and 36 on the road. Padres 73 and 65, 43 and 31 away. And we have one game left on this card. And then, we have got this show in under 2 hours. I think I might go over my NFL action, just say it out loud, the plan, and what I am expecting to attack the hardest. So I think that's what we'll do here in a second. We don't know who the Angels pitcher is. Let's see if that has changed. It hasn't. So we don't have a market here. And Darvish is on the hill for the Padres. So we can talk briefly about Darvish. His last start was bad. It was at Arizona. I wanted the over badly, and I didn't bet it. I forget why the market got me off of it, but it bothered me. 2 2/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 of which are earned, 1 homer, 1 walk, 3 Ks in a 8-3 loss at Arizona. Ricky Levine says, what up to me, getting ready to go to the Angels game. Angels playing spoilers. Let's go Angels. Ricky, have a great, great time. That's going to be fun at Petco. Gorgeous weather, 75 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour in. At home, Darvish has been much better than he has been on the road. At home, 5-4, 3.30 ERA, 2.11 opponent's batting average. On the road, he's a fade, just a fade. But the Angels aren't hitting righties, 225, 638 OPS. And Mr. Gokster pulled the trigger on the Broncos for full game -2.5 and first half -0.5. Bleds W says, seems like a lot of people are fading Taint. No, Bleds W, that was not the plan. And I don't think that was Jose's plan either. That just was the unfortunate news we received once we'd already made a bet. That's the situation that I expect, and Jose nodding. Yes, Jose nodding. So that was never a plan to fade Taint. We believe in Taint. All right, and Dad Fan saying, where are the Padres bats? They have not been around of late. Darvish is not a fade at home. We'll see who's pitching for the Angels and what that market is. All right, we move on to 9:40 p.m. Eastern. This was my double-up spot. I'm on the A's first 5 in full game. And look, the A's aren't hitting lefties. They're just 236 with a 668 OPS over the last 30 days versus lefties. I get it. But, Puzzler saying Hergert to start, Ortega primary. Okay, that's going to be need some studying here for me. Thank you for the heads up, Puzzler. All right, so when you have a favorite, like the Oakland A's are, Billy Pilgrim says, I'm with you on A's -1 large. I love that, Billy. You want everything to correlate. You want everything to line up. And clearly, the A's aren't hitting lefties, and that doesn't line up. But I do not think that Dallas Keuchel would be on the hill for these White Sox if they weren't comfortably going to win their division and dealing with injuries to studs. They have stud injuries to their rotation, and now we see Keuchel being thrown out there again. He is better at home than he is on the road. This is a really nice spot to fade him. I don't see this as a get-right spot, although the market sort of does, and we'll get into that in a second. 73 Fahrenheit, clear, 7 miles per hour to straightaway center. In Keuchel's last start, he went 3 innings, allowed 5 earned runs, and 7-2 loss at the Royals. He's had a 5.22 ERA, 1.45 whip on the season. At home, he's okay, 5-2, 4.62 ERA, 259 points batting average. But on the road, he's just bad, 3-6, 5.89 ERA, 293 opponent batting average. Jared JB says, disagree with that, Jimmy. They're using him to eat up innings. Yes, they're using him to eat up innings. I agree with you completely, Jared JB. But he will not be on their playoff roster unless they want a long man in the bullpen. It's the fact that there are enormous injuries is the reason why he's going out there. So, yes, he's eating up innings because they don't have a starting rotation that they can trust and use right now, is the way I see it. So I agree with you. Yeah, he's eating up innings. But if they were in any kind of race, and they sort of are, you want to have the best record possible for seeding purposes once you move on past the divisional series. Let's pull up exactly what Keuchel has done here. Pull up here his splits and his game per game because he's getting destroyed. And they'd be better off, calling it COVID and getting him out with the pitching coach and figuring out what the hell is going wrong In July, he has a 6.26 ERA. In August, a 7.43 ERA. And he's only made it through 3 innings in September. He's been just bad. So he has now, in his last 3 starts, given up 16 earned runs in 9 innings. Sox Bulls Bears says Dallas is so bad. Look for Matt Olson home run prop. Says I'm the biggest White Sox fan. He gives up dingers in bunches. Sean Thompson says he's such an up and down pitcher. I mean, I don't see any up. JJB says every time he comes up, it's an auto stay off of the White Sox for me. I get that, JB. Okay, so let's move over to baseball data in this spot because there's an expectation that Keuchel does well here. He's got nice numbers against the A's. They're hitting just 244, 673 OPS against him, and there's a lot of history against him from his time in Houston. And Frankie Montas, 286, but with a 676 OPS. They're 10 for 35, but just 2 extra base hits, and those are doubles, not homers. Kevin Riley says betting on home teams with an on-base percentage of not better than 300 over the last 15 games, who's facing a starting pitcher that is struggling with a 6.50 or worse ERA over his last 10 starts, says take Oakland money line. I like that look there. Okay, so Danzo says Dallas' innings will not be on the playoff roster. I agree. I mean, you could have him as a long man or to come in. I mean, what are his numbers against? What are his numbers even against lefties here? And can he even be trusted as a long man of the bullpen against the lefties? No, because lefties are hitting harder than righties right now. He's a mess, an absolute mess. Okay, so here we go. Frankie Montas, last start, 6 2/3, quality start, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks, and 8-6 win at the Tigers. And the White Sox are hitting righties hard, so that's another bit of an issue with a big favorite here, 270, 774 OPS. And the White Sox bullpen has been much better than the A's bullpen the last 30 days. All right, let's move on to the market move and the cash. The A's open up at minus 155. They're just minus 163, so an 8-cent move towards them, and this total's gone from 9 to 8.5. So we go over to the cash flow, and I'm nervous about this. 3,228 tickets in, 47% of the tickets, 51% of the cash on the A's, and then 65% of tickets, 16% of cash on the under. So why would they move it to the over? Why would they move it to the over? And the market's supposed to continue to move towards the White Sox. So if you want the A's, then wait, because the market is moving as we speak towards the White Sox. JEM says driving through Parkdale doesn't look that bad at King and Dufferin. No, it doesn't look that bad, but I'm at King and Jameson. So it gets worse as you travel east. King and Dufferin's still kind of on the fringe of, pretty nice area. But come east. Come east. Okay, there you go. Double up spot for me on the A's, and I'm a little nervous about it now. I also was interested in the over, but the market moving to the under was wild. Lit Pick says it'll be a playoff atmosphere for sure. Oh, the Wainwright says Wainwright first start versus Dodgers in his prime time smells like lunch meat for White. He hasn't been here before. I like Cards team to lower him first 5 money line. Ski Profit, Keuchel 9 innings, 16 ERA. Montas last 20 innings, 1.31 ERA. And Jose wants to move in here. Well, we'll have to discuss that. CT Bay says Rockies lineup out, usual suspects waiting on Giants. Rodney Barton says, dang, these teams have pushed on the total 3 out of the last 5 with the total set at 9. Yeah, and they pushed my first 5 when it didn't look good, but in that 5th inning, I thought I was going to cash it. Deacon Mike says, you're at Jimmy's place based on the amount of pigeon poo on the sidewalk. That is a good indication. Okay, so there is our MLB card. And Ski Profit says, I'd avoid A's bullpen. They haven't looked good of late. But I doubled up. There. All right, let's review everything and then take a look at NFL because I want to send everything in this afternoon. Here we go. In MLB, no move for me in Mariners, Astros. We have a lean to the under 6 in the Giants Rockies game, but I just can't take it if 6.5 was so widely available. Let's just move over to the first 5 quickly here. And I can't do it. And I don't think there's enough risk reward on the Rockies anyways. So I can't. I'm going to cheer for you guys to cash it, but that 6.5 was too appealing. The spreadsheet play of the day is Arizona Diamondbacks. And I have this first 5 minus a half sitting there, and I didn't move on it. Let's just take one more look at where the cash lies in this spot here. And it's the interleague spot. 49% of the tickets, 48% cash on Arizona. 94% of tickets cash on the under. Huh. And it's juiced to the over 4.5, but this full game has gone from 8.5 to 9. I don't trust the bullpens. Why? Why? Mike M. Pimp Slap play today. Texas Rangers first 5 plus a half. And CT Basis, Titans, Cardinals, both teams might score 30 on that over. I talked a lot about it yesterday. Jose says, Ghoster, I'm sure there's some space available. Expecting my family to leave. Expect my family to with my baseball losing streak. Expect me to lose my family. Huh. Okay, so it feels like a first 5 under. But then we have to trust Koei Arihara, which I'd like to do. It feels like a first 5 under. Doesn't it? God damn it. And I'm going to move on it. All right, I'm moving on to first 5 under 4.5. Why would they be making that full game under so much more appealing to us? Why is Vegas begging you to bet the under when 96% of cash is on it? Ski Prophet says WNBA info Grinder and Trossi out. Play on bad teams after winning a game in the W. The Dream are 6-0 plus 3 and 5-1 straight up in the first half of those games this season. That's great stuff. Sean Thompson says full game over. Just feels like CT Base says I'm rolling with Ron Crawford and taking the Diamondbacks. Do I move first 5 under 4.5 and the Diamondbacks? Okay, I'm going to have to. If I take the Diamondbacks, it's only going to be first 5. Okay, I'm on the under 9 minus 115 already in Twins, Indians, and Rusty Kuntz is on the Indians first 5 minus half at plus 102. I'm not moving on the Tigers Pirates game. Gambler's first glance, Marlins money line plus 107. We are waiting for Rojas and Aguilar. If they both missed yesterday with minor injuries, if they're in the lineup, I'm going to back the Marlins. If not, I'm hesitant to back them. Royals, Orioles, no move for me. Jose, first 5, team total over 2.5 at minus 101 to get back into the black. And the taint play of the day is the Yankees money line. And I'm unfortunately going right up against taint, which makes me very uncomfortable. Red Sox first 5 is an addition that I'm making to my card. Red Sox first 5 in addition I'm making to my card. Blue Balls pick of the day, team total over 5.5 for the Braves. And I'm off the Braves, Nats. Then Cubs first 5, and I'm now on the full game over in Reds Cubs. That will be in addition to my card. No move for me in Phillies Brewers or Dodgers Cardinals or Angels Padres. We don't have a line yet. And I've doubled up on the Oakland A's. There you have it. There is our MLB card. All right, let's move on to NFL. And there's only a couple spots that I kind of want to talk out here. And let's pull everything up. Here we go. And let's go. So what has become, in my perception, the biggest smash spot on the card, and I need to say this out loud before I do it, and see if there's been any market move in the last day. Fuck, there has been. Damn it. Shit. It's moving fast. God damn it. Money's I should have bet it last night. Okay. Is the Henry Dice says thoughts on Rutgers money line versus Syracuse. I tell you straight up, Henry Dice, that an overreaction. Look, I was on Rutgers first half full game, but there's been an overreaction on Rutgers smashing Temple when Temple made major mistakes and had 5 turnovers. This huge market move towards Rutgers is a recency bias. And Capper's not believing what Syracuse did in week 1. And as the market keeps moving towards Rutgers, whom I like this year, it's going to become a Syracuse or no bet for me. And it's going to take a little bit more time. So that's my first thought, Henry Dice. My first thought is when you see the score 61-16 or whatever it was for Rutgers, they only out-yarded them by 104 yards. So I'm very interested in Syracuse and backing them. And I just want more money to keep coming in on Rutgers. Okay. And Danzo says, Wainwright, a bum, uneducated. I like that, Danzo. Okay, so here we go. This is the spot that I want to attack heavy, and that is the Carolina Panthers. I want them first half. I want them full game. And look, Henry Dice, I could be wrong, but I think it's an important thing to do in week 1 is to see the scores that don't make sense, intangibles and things got in the way to make that a 61-16 score or whatever. And polo this, polo that, Panthers money line and under 45.5. Jared says Tampa is always free money, never bet against the GOAT. So, Carolina Panthers, first half and full game, I want to move on them. So that is the... And look, Puzzler saying 4 drives well within Temple's half, stats bloated. CT Base says starting offensive guard out for the Panthers. They won't block Quinnen Williams. There is not a fear about the pass rush is only Quinnen Williams. I'm not scared of this Jets defense at all. And let me just move over to the game. I think it's a very important point that you're making. And TJ says Panthers is a survivor play. I think that the Jets are in big trouble this year. Big, big trouble. And as Salah takes over, there's just going to be a learning curve where I think this healthy Carolina squad, other than the offensive line, is just going to take it to them. I think it's a real bad spot for these New York Jets. Let's take a look at my notes on this offensive line here. I go right to the defense, don't I? Deacon Mike says the Jets are always in trouble. Losing Lawson and Dave. Look, Salah's whole plan was built around Lawson and Davis. Lawson signs a 3-year, $45 million contract. Davis was just a 1-year, $5.5 million contract, but everything was about them. And Josh Gillum says Jets cover week 1 to scare me. Ross Pitt says Zach Wilson will keep it close. Polo this says I think Jets are the worst team in the league. Billy Friedrich says the bigger news is no Zach Martin for the Cowboys. That is big news. And we're going to break that game down deep tomorrow. Josh Gillum says the Panthers shouldn't give anybody over 4 points. And when we go to this market that's moved to 5 and even 5.5 points, then maybe it's a first half look only. But I don't know why these, Wilson and Trevor Lawrence are being backed in week 1. We have a rich history of watching these high draft picks fail in their first game. And I don't know exactly why that would change. We have 2 first-year head coaches backing, both in the NFL, head coaches, backing both of these high draft picks. I don't know what would warrant any confidence in them whatsoever. And when I go over to the cash flow in the Panthers game, where is it here? Sorry. Over to the Carolina Panthers game. The hell is it? We have 51% of the tickets on Carolina and 79% of the cash. Sharps are making big bets on Carolina, and I'm going to too. Josh Gillum says all the money on the Panthers, yes, but not all the tickets. The tickets are 50-50. So it's the big bets are coming in on the Carolina Panthers, and I get it. And I'm moving on them. First half and full game, and I'm going to move on them confidently. I mean, I don't know exactly what faith you guys have in Rule, Brady, and Phil Snow, but they're going to be better this year. They're just going to be better in year 2. It was a real learning curve for them in year 1. And having to coach that whole season without huge parts of the offense and with rookies playing pivotal roles on the defense, I don't see how Carolina is not going to be better. And then you have this quarterback, this much maligned quarterback with such a bone to pick with the New York Jets, just that, for the first time in his whole career, not being wanted. I really think that the Carolina Panthers double up is going to be moved. Commenting says, how did it move to 5? It's moved to 5.5. And Slatsy says Panthers are his survivor pick, and Slatsy and I both won our survivor pools last year. CT Base says, I think these teams with changes, I got to stay off. Betting teams like Ravens with stability helps week 1. I get that. Okay, so, and Gerald Jones says my number on the game is Carolina minus 7.5, but I have low belief in Carolina. Okay, so I've talked that out. I'm moving on it. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 6.5. Do you feel like that is too many points? Because I see the Browns at plus 6 and the Steelers at plus 6.5, and I feel like that's too many points. If you want a slam dunk type situation, I think the San Francisco 49ers roll in week 1 in Detroit. I think they roll. Mark Schlingberg said, I think the Browns beat KC week 1. The Steelers at plus 6.5 and the Browns at plus 6, I think that I have to bet them. The Texans at plus 3, that's as if the Texans plus 3 is still available. Is the bets that I don't have to make. Let me move over to make sure that's still plus 3, because we know it's going to be 2.5 in a second. Still plus 3. Ski Prof says, I don't know about the Browns, but Steelers I can understand. Sean Thompson says the 49ers roll. Sean Thompson says the Steelers are trash. I do not think they're trash. CT Base says I want coaches and quarterbacks to have a week 1 history. Mally Mal still thinking about the Bills minus 6. Sammy Comer says Browns and Chargers my top 2 picks for week 1. Mally Mal, the Bills are an awesome football team. There's no doubt about that. CT Base says Niners vs. Lions is the exact scenario. Difference with coach and quarterback. TJ says Texans stay away. Listen to all the guys coming out there saying it's like an expansion team. They're a mess. Look, there are people fighting for jobs on that defense, and they'll look good in the preseason. But here, Slatsy says Ben is so done. Bills by double digits, no corners. Mally Mal saying Chargers good all around. Yes, and they're healthy right now. But you have, a whole new coaching staff coming in. Now, I know it's going to be improvement after what we saw out of Anthony Lynn, but okay. So how about this? Let me tell you the bets that I want to make badly. I want to make the 49ers minus 7 and the Carolina Panthers badly. And it's easy for me to say that. And I understand why I'm saying that. I'm saying that because they're my only 2 favorites on the card. The only ones. And that's why I'm a little nervous with these dogs. So I have the Steelers plus 6.5 and the Colts plus 2.5. I think that this market move towards the Seahawks is too much. Then I have the Texans and Dolphins at +3, and I don't have to move on them. But you want me to sit back and say that Mac Jones is going to be spectacular in week 1? Shouldn't we be fading the Wilson, Lawrence, and Mac Jones? Or are you saying that this is just a different breed of young quarterback? And I don't know how you could say this is a different breed of young quarterback. Polo this, Polo that says bad picks, Jimmy, in my opinion. Okay. Josh Gillum says Colts with Eason pass. You don't think Carson Wentz is good to go? Unless something has come out now that Carson Wentz isn't good to go. Carson Wentz is good to go. Colts, I mean, he's practicing. They're optimistic he's going to play. Full team practice on Monday. I mean, Wentz is playing. Gerald Jones says Dolphins my dog of the week. And Ski Pop says Wentz is playing. They announced this morning. So I have the Steelers at +6.5, the Colts at +2.5, the Texans +3, Browns +6, Dolphins +3, and Saints +4.5. I'm also very interested in the Saints team total over 21.5. And I'm going to move on to Seattle, Indianapolis Colts over 49.5. So the question becomes, do I want to sit there? And I was looking at this last night, and this is why I couldn't send it in. I was like, am I going to sit here with 11 bets on week 1? You know, pacing back and forth, not letting anybody speak. I mean, everybody's going to have to leave the apartment. I'm just nervous. I'm nervous about that. I'm really nervous about that. But I guess I've talked it out. So then I have not made any future bets yet. And there were 5 future bets that I expected to make. But when it came down to it last night, there were 6 future bets that I wanted to make, and 4 of them involved the Cleveland Browns. So basically what's happening to me now is that there is one team that I will be making a future bet to win the conference and then win the Super Bowl, and that's the Cleveland Browns. And this has been an evolution over the last few months where I've become higher and higher and higher on the Browns. Ski Profits is 11 bets. You'll need more Kraken. You're right. I will need more Kraken. Sean Thompson said, I don't start locking until week 3. Brady says New Orleans and Indianapolis present the best value left on this card, in my opinion. And I agree. So the Saints +4.5, the Saints team total over 21.5. Now, look, I wish they were playing in the Superdome. The Real Jolly Roger says Belichick will cover every spread this year. Okay, so I've talked this out. So if you keep trying to talk yourself out of the bet, don't make it. It's just that I don't want to start week 1 with 11 bets. Billy Friedrich says Titans are a better value for the Super Bowl futures than the Browns. I don't agree, Billy. I don't agree, because what we saw in the second half of last year was Mayfield perform on a level that can win you a Super Bowl. That's what we saw. Not making mistakes. Smooth, clean, finding receivers. I'm not sitting here saying the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. I just think there's value on them right now. Mike Jordan says, what's this guy's record? Should we even listen to him? 11 bets, big no-no. You know, Mike Jordan, in college football, we're a week and a half in, and I've made 17 bets, and I'm 14-3, plus 10.7 units. 17 bets in the first 2 weeks of college football, and I've cashed 14 of them. And if you were closer to me, you know that I'd be hanging my balls off the bridge of your nose, asking you to take a big, deep fucking whiff. That's what I'd be asking you, Mike Jordan. I'd be asking you, please breathe that in, because that is the scent of a fucking winner. 14-3 and 17 bets, Mike Jordan. Suck my dizzink. 17 bets in the first 2 weeks of college football. I'm 14-3. Balls dangling off the bridge of your nose, bumping into your eyes. You breathing in the scent of my balls. Sniffing the scent of my balls, Mike. Fucking 17 bets first 2 weeks. Was that a mistake, Mike? All right. But, Mike, I agree with you. I agree with you. I do not want to make 11 bets on week 1, man. I don't want to make 11 bets on week 1. So, I don't want to make 11 bets in week 1. The last thing I want to do is make 11 bets in week 1. I agree with you. So, look, I'm going to take some time here and figure shit out. Okay, there you have it. There you have it. It's just, look, we love capping sports together, but succeeding is paramount, and winning money and improving our lives is the most important thing here. Yes, it's fun and it brings joy to our life, but it's not going to bring joy to your life if you open up 4-7 week 1. So, it's I hear what you're saying, Mike. I don't want to have 11 bets week 1 either. Okay, there you go. So a review of MLB quickly before we put a bow on this. And at this point, the Packers to win the division, the Buccaneers over 11.5 wins is, and I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm going to parlay that. I won't make that. I'm not going to put any parlays in as official, and I'm going to bet them individually, but I'm also going to parlay that. The Buccaneers over 11.5 and the Packers to win the division. So, but the Browns futures, I think the Browns to win the division at plus 150 is a really appealing spot. Okay. And Razor says Packers to win division lock of the century. Trinity said Jimmy parlaying. Yes, it's a I'm going to parlay the Buccaneers over 11.5 and the Packers to win division. I'm going to bet them individually too, but I'm very confident in those two positions. All right, so we'll move into MLB right now. Here we go. MLB, 5 bets were made before the show started, and then I'm going to add a couple spots here. CT basis, Saints defense gets huge boost in week 2 with trade for Bradley Roby from Houston. That's a good point. Polo this says Redskins plus 220 to win the NFC East is good value. I thought that, Polo this, Polo that, but I've been talked out of it. From Birdie. They're the favorite in just 4 of 17 games. Okay, so the first 5 under 4.5 and the Diamondbacks first 5 is I'm going to sit here and study harder. They might be additions. I moved on the under 9 at minus 115 in Minnesota, Cleveland. The Rusty Kuntz play of the day is the Indians first 5 minus a half at plus 102. Detroit, Pittsburgh, I am staying off, but clearly the Sharps are on the Pirates. For the Marlins game, I need to know if Rojas and Aguilar will be in the lineup. Gambler's first glance is on the Marlins money line at plus 107, and I get it completely. I just want Rojas and Aguilar there. Orioles, no move for me. First 5 team total over 2.5 is Jose's say hey play of the day. First 5 team total over 2.5 for the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto at plus 100s for me, but I'm going up against Matty Ice's taint play of the day, which is dangerous. Red Sox first 5 is an addition that I will be making in nervously. So I might study it a little bit longer. Blue Balls pick of the day, team total over 5.5. Cubs first 5 I've already bet, and I'm moving on the full game over in Reds Cubs. I'm off Phillies, Brewers, off Dodgers, Cardinals, off Angels, Padres. We don't know who's pitching for the Angels or what the line is, and I've doubled up on the Oakland A's. There you have it. And Rusty Kuntz looking to get back to over 500. Rusty Kuntz is now back where the black is right in sight. Thank you guys so much. I have no show without these great comments from the chat. Thank you for all your hard work and everything that you guys do, sharing your insights, crunching numbers, and also sharing your positivity and your humor with me. Deacon Mike, best bet, Tampa Bay, Boston, over 2.5 home runs. And Kevin Riley really likes Tampa Bay minus 4.5 first half. the bet makes sense to me, but with the whole thing that's going to go on before the kickoff, it's like a 35-minute ceremony. I'm not sitting here with a ton of confidence in the Buccaneers to come out really fired up. Chip Plylar saying Mac Jones is underhyped. And Jeffrey Blue says, with you on the Browns, sprinkle money line too. And Turnsey says, do a shot with Jose before we sign off. I'm not going to get Jose into the booze here. And he's shaking his head. He still looks rough from what happened a month ago. You're muted, Jose.
My liver hurts from that still, and birthday trip was tough. So
yeah, and then you caught COVID right after the booze. So it was a rough. But you're back in action. Okay, so thank you, all of you guys. North Ender, Slats 45, Harold Williams, Turnsy, Razor Sharp Picks, Polo This, Jeffrey Blue, Ski Prophet, Deacon Mike, Kevin Riley, Henry Dice, Danzo, CT Bays, Puzzler, Sean Thompson, TJ, all you guys. Ray Charles 27. Thank you guys so much for all of your hard work and your insights and for everything that you do, making the show so special. This is to you guys. I love you guys. We have a huge show, a bunch of huge shows on our program today. Don't forget the 4 p.m. Eastern. We have C-Mac and Babano breaking down the MLB card. Then we have Razor Sharp Picks horse racing show this evening and Thursday evening. And Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy is Thursday at 1 p.m. right after this show. All right. I love you guys. To us and to having a successful day. Leche, a los bookmakers.